Your Excellency, the former President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Acting Chairman of the party, the General Secretary, distinguished members of the Council of Elders, honorable members of Parliament, our minority leader, our hard-working national, regional, and constituency executives, electoral area coordinators, polling station executives, former flag-bearer aspirants, fellow Kukrudites, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by thanking God Almighty for making this day possible. I also want to thank all the tens of thousands of delegates who voted in today's election. Officials of the EC, security agencies, the Presidential Election Committee, the media, and the generality of the Ghanaian people. Your vote, your work, your coverage, and your general following have all contributed to getting us thus far. It is with a deep sense of pride and humility that I address you this evening, following what has turned out to be a blistering battle for the flag bearership of the New Patriotic Party. To secure anything precious in this life, we must be prepared to fight the hard battles, prepared to work hard, and be prepared to withstand difficult circumstances. I am glad that you and I have successfully fought the hard battles, worked hard, and withstood the difficulties that came our way. And tonight, victory is for all of us. I am grateful. The MPP is grateful to you all, and Ghana is grateful. I need to reiterate from the outset, our tradition has an
Away from politics, these are some stories making up the headlines from the region. Now, the Ashanti Regional Drug Law Enforcement of the Ghana Police Service has destroyed illicit drugs worth millions of cedis seized during the operation in the region. The drugs include tramadol, male enhancement products, and many others were intercepted during the operation last year, 2025, and this year, 2026. Speaking in an interview after the distraction exercise at the landfill site, the station officer of the Drug Law Enforcement Unit, ASP Fraser Nutekpo, highlights the number of arrests made.
The SUCC here, narcotic substance, which were confiscated during our operations, and have been in our custody for over 2 years now. So, pursuant to Section 38 of Narcotic Control Commission Act 2020 of Act 1019, I obtained an order from the circuit court to destroy them. So this is what we are witnessing today.
The Ashanti Regional Police Commander, DCOP Osei Akoto Arthur, on his part, warned that no drug peddler will be spared in the operation, urging the youth and traders to desist from peddling drugs.
You saw the quantity of substances that were destroyed on the orders of the courts. You see, it was very colossal. The Ashanti Regional Police Command is determined because we believe that it is drug use that is helping these young ones into criminal activities. So we are committed to deal with it.
Now, to ensure transparency and accountability, the substances were banned in the presence of the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, Environmental Health Services, and the media at the OT landfill site.
Student Teacher Association of Adidome Senior High School in the central tongue of the Volta region is calling on government, especially the Ministry of Education, to help settle outstanding 120,000 Ghana cedis water bill owed by the school to the community water system to enable the reconnection of water to campus. Chairperson of the PTA, Moses Awukuvi Danyevo, described this situation as a worrying one as students have to trek long distances in search of water.
Adidome Senior High School has been dealt with the water crisis for some time now. For the past 3 years, we've been facing water challenges. The growing number of students has made it in such a way that the consumption has also increased. And as such, Ghana Water always come to disconnect the school from water. Community water has come to disconnect the school from water. And as a result, our students have to move to the nearby houses and sometimes cross the road to look for water for their usage.
For details of these stories and more, log on to metrotvonline.com. My name is Lois Gota Achupekwa.
At the end of the meeting, participants reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening regional cooperation to address the evolving peace, security, and governance challenges in order to rebuild regional stability. They also declared that sustainable security in Western Africa calls for a shift toward a human security approach, underpinned by regional solidarity, respect for sovereignty, and a people-centered, gender-responsive approach to peace building. On security and counter-terrorism, the high-level consultative conference, recognizing the inextricable link between transnational organized crime and violent extremism, agreed to A, strengthen regular meetings of states in the region to review peace and security commitments, B, strengthen intelligence and information sharing and reinforce the harmonization of legal frameworks to enhance the cross-border prosecution of terrorism-related offenses while safeguarding human rights. C, strengthen the implementation of de-radicalization programs. In respect of border security and counterterrorism, to combat the fluid movement of criminal and extremist elements, this high-level conference committed to A, consider adopting a hot pursuit by bilateral, minilateral, or multilateral agreement to support the fight against transnational crimes. B, design a foundational memorandum of understanding and protocols on cooperation and security within 6 calendar months after this high-level consultative conference to serve as the basis for further agreements, be they bilateral, minilateral, or multilateral. C, formulate the draft foundational memorandum of understanding within 3 months for consideration of the heads of state and government in a process to be led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana. D, strengthen mechanisms against all forms of trafficking, including narcotics, human, and arms. On governance and human security, acknowledging that military responses alone cannot ensure lasting peace, the high-level conference pledged to A, prioritize human security in national strategies.
The communique summarizes most of the points in the outcome document. And so it brings us to an end of this conference. I want to thank all the participants. On the 29th, the first day of the conference, we had a ministerial meeting which was attended by the ministers and the intelligence and security chiefs, and it was a very fruitful strategy meeting. And today we continued the meeting with representatives from Nigeria, from Mali, from Burkina Faso, from Niger, from Mauritania, Togo, and then representatives from the AU, Ambassador Dioye, Ambassador Tangara, and Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers. And of course, presiding over this meeting together with me are my brothers from the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, and His Excellency Julius Madabio from Sierra Leone. I want, on behalf of Ghana and all the organizers, to thank all of you for taking time off to come. We hope we've been able to look after you properly and that you enjoy the rest of your stay in Ghana. I want to thank the members of the Diplomatic Corps and other stakeholders. Recently, my children were all excited about some young man from America called iShowSpeed, or I don't know what his name is, who came to Ghana. And one of my children showed me a video of him in a shea butter museum of some sort. And it's one of our northern sisters who has that shea butter museum. And I remember when we were young, this Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje, Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje, they were singing. All of us remember that when our younger sisters used to play and pass those stones, Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje, Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje. And this young man was lucky. I saw him lying down, and about 10 girls, all with shea butter, were massaging this boy. And the way he was enjoying it, he opened his mouth as if he couldn't breathe. That guy, I'm sure he'll come back here. Recently, my children were all excited about some young man from America called iShowSpeed, or I don't know what his name is, who came to Ghana. And one of my children showed me a video of him in a shea butter museum of some sort. And it's one of our northern sisters who has that shea butter museum. And I remember when we were young, this Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje, Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje, they were singing. All of us remember that when our younger sisters used to play and pass those stones, Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje, Kuriya Kuriya Kurujenje. And this young man was lucky. I saw him lying down, and about 10 girls, all with shea butter, were massaging this boy. And the way he was enjoying it, he opened his mouth as if he couldn't breathe. That guy, I'm sure he'll come back here. Recently, my children were all excited about some young man from America called iShowSpeed, or I don't know what his name is, who came to Ghana. And one of my children showed me a video of him in a shea butter museum.
Okay, so good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moore. It's always a pleasure to come in with fantastic Tuesday morning. It's the 3rd of February 2026. As I always say, this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. I want to say a big thanks to the Almighty Allah for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that matter to you and I. I'll go straight ahead and look at the front pages of the papers that we have for today. So Daily Graphic, as usual, is what I will start with. And it says the nation aims for food self-sufficiency. Government World Bank back food security resilience program. Galamsey thugs attack 2 Daily Graphic journalists. Forestry Commission sets up forest protection camps. 3 experts analyze MPP's road to 2028. The Ghanaian Times says that enhancing agri productivity, World Bank backs Ghana's commercial farming with $1 billion. Education Minister assures swift renovation of Tamale School dormitory. Ghana on track to meet WHO's 2030 NTD elimination targets, according to the GHS. And President Mahama to pay 3-day visit to Zambia, leaves Accra for Dubai. Daily Guide: 4 nabbed over narcotic smuggling in Volta. My company was licensed to operate NAM1. According to NAM1, Bawumia rallies MPP for 2028 victory. SkyTrain board approval in GIIF memo. Mahama is 5th most powerful global development figure. The Insight: decades after service in building mining industries, Ibrahim Mahama receives honorary doctorates from UMAT. And then 24-hour economy to get legal backing into authority as parliament resumes today. China, Russia reaffirm commitment to Cuba. Reconnect with party grassroots. Godwin Mahama urges government appointees. Metro Mars commissions ultramodern restaurant facility for staff. Cuba condemns and denounces new escalation of U.S. economic blockade. The Daily Post this morning is reporting that Ablakwa arrives in Latvia to pursue justice for deceased Ghanaian students. Mahama ranked 5th most powerful global figure in development and change-making. NIMOS deepens operational crackdown on illegal mining activities at Hunter West Municipality. The Daily Searchlight this today reporting that Ghana bleeds billions through hidden trade losses, new global report reveals. And there's hoax. Transport Minister floats Mirage Ghana Airways. And also Ablakwa leads high-level mission to Latvia as Ghana demands answers in death of Ghanaian students. 2 dead, several injured in Abunyanya land dispute. And then let's end with the Business and Financial Times that says EJF urges fisheries sector to expedite transparent vessel registry. GIPC Act 865 review to deepen local participation and create jobs. TDC declares 3 million cedis dividend as revenue rises 34%. Whoa. Congratulations to the guys there. They've done a fantastic job. And then there's also UMAT awards honorary doctorate to businessman Ibrahim Mahama. Strong demand, the rate cuts drives treasury yields lower. So that's it for the front pages of the papers that we have for today. And I would continue as I usually do with the online portals and look at what's there. Start with the City Newsroom that says the microfinance operators back BOG reforms but seek more time. And there's Ghana suspend citizenship applications for historical diasporians. That's with the City Newsroom. And then if you check out my Joe online, winning back trust is the bigger battle upon Nkrumah after Bawumia victory. NPP unity, people around Kennedy's team are a lot more bitter, says Musa Dankwa. Now let's go to that's Ghana Web, right? So Ghana Web. Now Ghana Web this morning is reporting that Ghanaian man in Denmark reportedly commits suicide after DNA test reveals 4 children are not his. I don't know why this thing keeps coming up, from time to time. I mean, you have children with your wife, and then it turns out that the children are not yours. I don't know why these things keep coming up. Anyway, some pastors are embarrassing God, Prince David Osei, and as Ghana's gold is trapped by constipation of imagination. President Mahama arrives in Dubai for 2026 World Government Summit. And then let's end with yours truly, Metro TV Online. It says Agric Minister pays historic working visit to Ashaman Tulaku livestock market. Diaspora must shift from remittances to investment. Ghana's UK High Commissioner. And NIA facing system glitches after new fees platform rollout. And GTA CEO Mamifua Hujeto honored as a global cultural ambassador at pre-Grammy Awards. So that's it for the newspapers and the online review. My name is Aldo Moro. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Hoffentlich ist unser Studiopublikum der Messgrad dafür, dass wir ein Programm erwischt haben, das unseren jungen Freunden in Schweiz und Österreich gefällt. Und um die Stimmung nicht abreißen zu lassen, gleich weiter, Osibisa.
We going, and we know within. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, we know within. We will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. Let's go.
So go. You are not right. Now operate flat. Operate flat. One is seven, one is two, boom, boom, boom. Ready, go. So go. You are normal. Maintain. Come on.
unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit, happy smile.
The festive season is here again, and your most preferred estate partner is giving you 25% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Bronya Asase promo, Estate Masters is offering this massive discount for outright purchases. This includes free indenture, free site plan, and a free site visit. So what are you waiting for? Rush now and secure a plot of land while it is still hot. Reach out to us using the numbers below or visit our website at www.estatemastersgh.com. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Good morning, Mr. Ding.
Good morning, Ejako. And why do you keep staring at my rubbish container?
I'm surprised you're still using a bin without a cover. You know it can cause a mess.
My bin is just fine. Look, there is no leakage, still solid and robust. If you will excuse me, I have work to do.
Yo.
Dustbins are a great way of keeping trash off the streets and homes. However, the use of bins without fitting covers poses a challenge with stench from rotten items. flies, and scavengers. Keep the environment clean and healthy. Get dustbins with fitting covers.
Get ready to splash into love this Valentine's season. Join the Campus Red Pool Party on Friday, 13th February 2026 at the Bayview Village, Atomic Junction. Rates is 60 cedis for singles and 100 Ghana cedis for couples. Time is 4 p.m. sharp. Come in your red bikinis for the ladies and red shorts for the gentlemen. Don't miss out on the fun, games, and vibes. Campus Red Pool Party. Love is in the air.
All right. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro, and my guests are already seated here. We'll start the conversation shortly. Now, one of them actually is here. So there's supposed to be two, as you do know, but one of them is already here. So one is a lady who's been one of the, I'll call the vocal, one of the most intelligent and smartest political communicators of the NDC. She's played in the civil society space for a very long time, but alas, she decided to jump into or to foray hardline, hardcore politics. And I'm talking about Nuang Falong. Nuang Falong is an information officer with the ISD, which is the Information Services Department. She's here with us. I'm sure you haven't seen her in a while, haven't you? Yes, she went to AWOL, but she's back. I don't know how long.
Very briefly.
I don't know how long she's going to be back, how long she's going to be in town, but she tells me that she's here briefly. But also on the other side is Andre Japamesa, who is a former Deputy Energy Minister and also former Tourism and Creative Arts Minister. It's also the former MP for 2nd D. So you see them in your shots. That's a lady and a gentleman. Good morning, madam. It's good to see you.
Good morning. It's good to see you. You people found a really nice picture of me.
Yes.
Thank you.
We didn't have any choice. We didn't have any choice.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the viewers. And as I always do, good morning to the good people of Laura constituency, my constituency, to my Member of Parliament, Bid Ziedeng, to my Minister, Honorable Felix, and to all the comrades that are tuned in, good morning to you, and thank you for tuning in.
How are you dealing with the pressure to someday consider doing the work of a legislator? How are you dealing with the pressure?
I keep rejecting most of the calls.
Okay.
I think that once you start communicating for the party, everyone starts calculating your future for you already, regardless of whether it's in your plans or not. As we speak, I have no such plans. I get a lot of messages from the constituency members and other persons trying to convince me to take that step. To be fair, I think it's a lot of work. And usually for the members of parliament who even make it, I wonder how they're able to recoup. It's intensive, campaigning to be a member of parliament. I mean, I had the opportunity to help my member of parliament, Bid Ziedeng, to campaign during 2024. It was difficult and I didn't even have to go to every station in the constituency, but I felt it, you know. Sometimes we're out there till 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I kept wondering, how does he do it? it's a lot of work and a lot of resources because everywhere you go, something has to drop.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do something. The people are coming with their problems. It's not in my cards presently.
Presently.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not something that I have on the table or have planned.
There's a trust key, you know, unlike you, I do trotro. So I see.
How do you know if I don't also do trotro?
everything. No, when I saw the car you came with.
Oh, it's not my car. Someone told me, Charlie, no, you don't have a car. Let me you use my car small.
Hey.
I don't have car.
Oh, then you're very resourceful.
I don't have.
It means you're very resourceful.
Yeah.
You have a lot of big and influential people.
Like you. I have friends like you who have mercy on me and decide to help
but you've
me.
never joined in my trotro before.
In my going and coming.
You know, they say you never know tomorrow. You know, they write it at the back of there. So you never know tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm happy. You know, what you've done is what every I'll call consumer politician would do, which is to say, it is not in my cards now.
Well,
they say at the
but
moment,
that's the truth. I have no such plans for it.
Yes, which is you never know tomorrow.
Okay, yes, I agree. I never know tomorrow.
All right. But no, tell me, you and I were once, you know, sometimes in the streets of Accra, buying our cocoa and bread, and you know, sometimes
I'm still here
sitting and having a conversation about ourselves. Let me say ourselves. And then one day I called and your call won't go through. The number you're calling is out of coverage area.
Oh, Charlie.
And then I tried your WhatsApp and I noticed that apparently you were out of coverage area for only Ghana. We're not out of coverage area for outside Ghana.
Oh.
Where have you been?
Serving the country.
Where?
At the United Nations.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I see.
You know, Ghana sends a permanent mission to the United Nations.
Yeah.
All member states actually do. The head of the delegation is, of course, the permanent representative, who is the ambassador. And then there's us who, you know, support the other committees. The UN has 6 committees, I'm sure you know. So you'll find other delegates in different committees, usually different committee experts. Like I'm an information committee expert, so I serve mainly on the information committee. Okay. That's what I've been doing.
Wow. So how different is your job from where Annie Ifuampofo is? She's in Washington, D.C.
Right.
How different is what you do in New York from what Annie does at Washington, D.C.?
So what's in Washington, D.C., what we have there is our embassy, right? They represent the government of Ghana directly. So it's more of a political station. So the ambassador there you find is on His Excellency Victor Smith. But when you come to the UN level, so Washington doesn't deal with the UN.
Okay.
New York deals with the UN. New York is the UN mission, but we also have a consulate attached, right? So we're able to do other administrative duties, issuing visas and passports and all of that, and dealing with the Ghanaian community. But our main job is to ensure that Ghana is well represented at the United Nations on all the committees. Washington is more political.
I see. And so far, so good?
Yes.
Are you loving it?
I am learning.
You're learning.
I take it as an opportunity to learn, to improve, to do more. So it's a beautiful challenge. It's new. I mean, I have been working in communications for a long time, but this is a little different, and you have to fine-tune it to suit the UN's demands, which I'm trying to do to the best of my ability with the help of my ambassador and other delegates, of course.
But what have you been missing since you left to
Ghana is a beautiful place. I've missed all of you. I've missed the people.
I miss you too.
Yes, I've missed it. I think it's easier. Ghana is more relatable, right? You wake up, you go wherever you want to go, you do whatever you want to do. But when you are in a diplomatic role, you have to be extra careful of everything you do, especially in a different country. So I miss the freedom. Yeah.
So typically, say from Monday to Friday.
Yes.
It's a routine.
Yes.
You leave your house in the morning, you go to
Go
work,
to
come
the
back,
office. Exactly.
rest, sleep,
Yes.
go back the next day.
It's predictable. You know
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Do you have time to keep in touch with friends? You know,
I respond to messages and calls.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them. It can get overwhelming. I respond as much as I can. So I do keep in touch. Maybe not the regular way by call, but now on WhatsApp. But I'm able to keep in touch with all the people I used to be in touch with. Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure that you'd also lose some friends. This comes with the terrain, doesn't it?
So far, not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
Nobody's complaining that you're not picking your calls.
Oh, no. As for the complaints, sometimes, you find people complaining, oh, you didn't pick your call. But to be fair, I think it goes for all appointees. Right. Sometimes, while you are calling, the person is sitting in a meeting. I usually return it, right? If I don't pick it, I always say, just leave a message or call. When I see it, I'll call back. When I see the message, I'll respond. It's the most I can do.
So, I mean, here in Ghana, I mean, typically on the weekend, you would either sit at some joint and enjoy some of your Tuzafi and whatever.
Now, I make the Tuzafi in my house. I'll still enjoy it.
Make it in the house.
Yes.
So typically on the weekend, what do you do? What occupies you? What takes your time?
To be fair, I usually do a lot of reading over the weekend. Okay. My life is quite boring. I try to educate myself and improve my knowledge, especially now because it's still a new role. So I do a lot of learning. I even find I don't have enough time to catch up on the reading material that I have to go through. So there isn't much social life for me. If you want to go out and do wate, fufu, all of that, in New York and New Jersey, it's very easy, right? There's the Ghanaian population there is very vibrant. True. And there are a lot of people who are making these local foods and selling. But I usually am very on the calm side.
You are lucky. I mean, if you're like me and Bobo will struggle. Because me and Bobo will Charlie
I'm not struggling at all.
And talk small and, enjoy some things. But so then you struggle.
You can enjoy it in your house.
Like you said, Charlie, this house matters away. The ambience outside and everything is not the same as being
you want to be outside.
Anyway, yes. Anyway, so congratulations.
Thank you.
We haven't had the opportunity to congratulate you publicly.
Me and you are not on those terms. She used to be my friend.
I'm still your friend. What are you saying?
She left for her role in
look at this.
Levels change. Now
but you are my boss.
She's living large.
She said nothing has changed.
You sure? I'm not so sure that's reflected the relationship that we had before the appointment.
It's fake news. Fake news.
Oh, is that so?
He's still my boss.
What's your boss? Always your boss.
Always my boss. We still talk. I still, interact with him on social media.
It's been a while.
I saw him supporting Baumia and the attacks he was getting. I saw everything.
There's a clear distinction between what you see and whether you get in touch with us. Which used to be the case before you left for New York.
Okay.
So admit.
Okay,
but we'll deal with it. Like they say, but it's good to see you. And
I'll do better.
Good morning to you. Good morning. My good friend Moro and our cherished viewers. I hear you on radio now, so I suppose listeners also is.
Yes.
Oh, you're on radio?
Yes.
On radio now.
Yes, because a lot of people were complaining that once they leave home, they struggle to monitor.
Yeah. If you don't have your TV set.
A Japan Mercedes type of car where you have a screen,
you have. It uses a limo,
There's Wi-Fi, everything in there. You struggle,
I'm not so sure that I would be watching TV whilst driving.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. You have the facility.
But you didn't deny that the TV is inside your car. You said you wouldn't be watching.
It's not a question of whether I would deny or admit. The truth of the matter is
TV in your car.
Most cars these days have those.
Well, that's true.
My own doesn't do.
That's true.
Well, I don't know the car you drive, but
so the complaints,
I didn't make them. It's just on the market.
So the complaints were becoming a lot, and we decided that look, we already have a frequency. So we activated it, and it's at the old place. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this a beautiful edifice has been
I
put up.
didn't even know that.
Yes, and so it's 94.1. So as we speak, it doesn't even have a name. It's just 94.1. I'm sure at the right time we'll be giving a name, that kind of thing. But Bobo, good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, Andrew Ejapa Mensah is a former Deputy Energy Minister and a former Deputy Minister for the Tourism Sector, and also a former MP for Second. It's always a pleasure to have you.
I wasn't the Deputy Minister.
Sorry, Minister. Full Minister. Sorry about that. So full Minister. I apologize for that. It was a full Minister. That's true. But you haven't been here in a while.
Yes, I haven't been. I was busy.
Yeah, I know.
Working in the trenches.
Yes.
To ensure that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is returned as the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party for 2028. And to the glory of God.
How many votes did he get in
were
second?
Successful. I believe we got 392.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw your post yesterday on Facebook.
76%.
You were commending and congratulating the delegates for doing a good job. Yeah. Yes, everyone said it also. Anyway, so congratulations on. So for me, the congratulations is on two fronts. Personally, to you, I mean, because you have been on this platform several times, and you haven't hidden the fact that you are, a dyed-in-the-wool Bawumia supporter, and you've always believed that he's the best person, the best guy to do the job.
Absolutely.
So that's congrats on that's on the personal, individual level, and then also congratulations to you for, as in you being a part of the Bawumia campaign team. So I'm sure that you're still basking in that important glory.
Well,
how's the feeling?
We've gone beyond that. I mean, for me, it was a foregone conclusion because, like I kept saying, I trust the delegates of the New Patriotic Party.
Yeah.
I moved away from Sir John of blessed memory a long time ago. I'd engaged with them since 2011 when I went in for the first time to contest His Excellency Papa Usankuma, the time they set an MP. I lost.
Okay.
But then I knew I was going to lose even before I went in. Save that because he was on the decline. It was obvious that he wasn't going to contest again post 2012. And so then it was easy for me to then put myself up again in 2016. And I won. In fact, I went unopposed in 2020, 2024. They've always been very, if you like, capable of assessing all the candidates that offered themselves. And in the lead up to this presidential primaries, I did series of electoral area engagements, did a lot of personal contacts, and it was obvious to me that they will return His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Because the data, all the assessments that had been done, clearly showed that he was one, most prepared, most marketed. 2024 loss notwithstanding, issues were clear. What had accounted for our electoral loss was manifest to all of us. University of Ghana Political Science Department had done some work. Conrad Adenauer Foundation had done some work. Our own Michael Quay Committee had done some work. In fact, the 8th Parliament itself commissioned a team to do some work.
Under Chairman Sabonsu?
Yes. And it was clear to us that Dr. Bawumia, as a person, was not a reason why we lost the election. Several factors, key amongst them being the solutions that we proffered to deal with the economic crisis that we had gone in as a country as a result of some accumulation of issues, starting with the banking sector, which has cost us huge sums of money to deal with, money that we had to borrow to deal with that situation, the energy sector, debt that we had accumulated, such that when COVID came, it had compounded our problem to the extent that we needed to seek external help. Of course, our first option was to do internal, because it was a question of revenue and expenditure rationalization. Your revenue measures that you table in Parliament because of the numbers failed. And so you got the kind of response that you got from the market. It's a huge capital flight. You got COVID. The Russian war, disrupting global supply chain, it impacted you significantly. And so you needed external help, which then required you to take certain actions which were very unpopular. The domestic debt exchange program was a key one. It affected a lot of people negatively. And so you go into an election without resolving those problems, and it was going to affect you. Plus other issues that had nothing to do really with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And so, to a large extent, I was confident that the delegates of the New Patriotic Party were going to return him. And that's exactly what they did. I've heard people say that because he reduced the numbers from the 2023 primaries to the current one, that in itself is a show of some loss of faith. I don't think so. Every election is unique. Every election has its own dynamics. 2023 was a two-horse race, really. This time around, my good friend and brother, Brian Achampong, came in strongly. It was a three-horse race, really. And so you get a sense that the numbers certainly will not be the same as happened in 2023. But 56.7, I believe, is a clear endorsement by the party of its leadership into 2028. And our work is cut out. We know what we need to do. And I believe that post the reorganization of the party structure, okay, would be in a position to then go back to the Ghanaian with a clear message that would resonate with them. And I believe that they will give us a mandate if we are compelling enough to continue with the work that we started and, in 2029 January.
Okay.
Of course, we'll see what our friends on the other side also do. A whole lot of things will come into play in determining who would win election 2028. And we're ready.
There are a number of issues that I want us to look at, and then before I bring in Wong Falong. But do you think it was the strength of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that won him the elections, or it was the fact that the people he contested with were relatively weak? Which is which?
Whichever way you look at it, it's a gamut of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that every candidate would come to the table with. Okay, but I think that Dr. Bawumia's own competencies, his experience, the fact that he had been presented to the Ghanaian people, he had been marketed, was well known. Even though our friends in the NDC describe him with words that I always advise we should move away from within our political discourse, because it doesn't help. Doing so then means that we are potentially depriving the people of Ghana of some qualities that can help in building our country. And so, for example, they call Dr. Bawumia Bawolaya to the effect that campaign promises and commitments that the New Patriotic Party has made, which was amplified by, for example, leadership, including Dr. Bawumia, and for some reason was unfulfilled, makes him a liar. How do we describe ourselves with words like that? Because the truth of the matter is that since 1992, no political party has been able to deliver 100% of their manifesto commitments.
Fact.
So are they also liars? Samahama, when he was president between 2012 and 2016, commitments that he made in his manifesto to the people of Ghana, Imani, thankfully, that's an assessment of manifesto promises. You didn't do even 50%. Right? But I don't think you were lying. It's your vision of where you want to take our country to. Several factors would impact your ability to deliver or otherwise. And so if you are unable to do that, but that's the kind of politics that especially our friends want to do. But look, there's clear opportunity between now and 2028 for the Ghanaian people to look at the issues. We'll have time to explain. Let them understand that words like this really is just the politicking. But the truth of the matter is that this is the man. In the midst of the crisis, the kinds of solutions that he proffered, which today the government of the day is benefiting from, it's obvious. In fact, they've even taken the decision to dispose of some of the accumulation that we made in terms of the gold, okay? Claiming that, well, they prefer to have liquid as opposed to, it's a decision that they would have to bear the consequences of going forward. But I mean, I'm very clear in my mind that, you know, Dr. Bawumia came with his own strength. I've worked with him closely. I know him, I know his work ethic, I know his attitude, I know his knowledge, his experience. And the good people of Ghana will be better for it if someday, I hope that in 2028, he becomes the president of our republic.
Right. Let's talk about the numbers that he recorded, which in itself has become a very controversial issue, and it depends on how you see it. So in 2023, he polled 61% and a bit. And now he has he got 46% and a bit. It's a 46.48.
56.7.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Because if he had obtained 40%, he wouldn't be there.
I talked about
he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't be the flag bearer.
Sorry about that. Yes, 56.48. My sincere apologies, and I unconditionally apologize for that. I mean, first of all, when you were going into this election, did you really have a target? I mean, beyond just winning, did you have a target? Say, look, Bawumia must get 65, 70, 80. What was the target? You know,
I suppose
as
that
against what has been recorded.
I suppose that every campaign would have a certain target, but it cannot be fixed because it will keep oscillating, depending on how the dynamics play out. Okay, but one thing is certain, that we knew we were going to win. Okay, I was expecting a higher margin. I didn't think that Brian was going to put up that strong a showing, save that when he came to Second D, for example, and left, people whom I knew were committed Bawumia people said, you know, and so, yeah, he got only 31, or I believe 39.
39, yes.
In Second D, which was contained. But I was surprised that Honorable Kennedy Japan did what he did in my constituency.
Right.
81, I think. Was high, because I was expecting him to do lower than that. But so yes, I expected that Dr. Bawumia would get more than what he did. But I suppose that the most important thing for me is that he won 56.48 when the required mark to attain the role was 50% plus one. It's a clear endorsement by the party, and we're focusing on going forward, and not, you know, what the percentage does as regards the reduction from the 2023 figures, which I've explained to you clearly, is coming from the strong showing that Dr. Brian Acheampong seemed to have put up.
I mean, if let's say a political neophyte, a mere mortal, layman, approaches you and tells you that, why is it important for a politician who is contesting in elections to get a certain percentage, very high? How would you explain to the person why that is important, beyond just winning elections?
Look, I've seen some social media commentary that the fact that Dr. Bawumia got 61 in 2023 and got 41% in the general election means that his reduction to 56.48 would necessarily translate to a lower percentage in the election.
Yesterday, your very good friend, Kojo Chumbafu, sent a very interesting analysis of, but when you're done, I'll read it.
But then again, Mr. Mahama got 90% plus in 2015.
Yeah.
And still lost the general election in 2016.
Right.
He got, I believe, 90-something% in 2020.
99.
Within the NDC.
In fact, in 2015, he had 84%. And he got 99 in 2019.
And still lost the 2020 election. So you can only kid yourself, right? If you want to dwell on those internal numbers as basis for what the general election outcome would be. Because the truth of the matter is that every election is different. The issues that played out in 2016 was different from 2020. It certainly was different in 2024.
I mean, no election is the same.
Would be different
in
2028.
Yeah.
So really, my explanation to a political neophyte would be that, well, for the internal bit, I suppose that the thinking is that it helps in enhancing the unification of factions, if you like. Because if somebody comes up with that 90% plus figure, then it goes to reason that the party overwhelmingly is behind that candidate. But it's not for nothing that the mark that has been set for winning is simple majority, 50% plus one. For me, that's really what matters. If you're able to garner that, then what it means is that a majority of the party is solidly behind you. Gives you a mandate to then go ahead and represent the party in the election. My expectation is that at that point, every other member of the party stands behind the candidate, work assiduously to ensure that the candidate is marketed for the election. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the only issue that is concerning to me. That's just it.
So it is concerning to you to the extent that close to 40-something% of your party delegates do not agree that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should lead the MPP.
It is not concerning to me.
Okay, why?
Yeah, because they have their view.
Okay.
Like I said, Dr. Brian Achampong came very, very strongly. He preached a certain message that resonated with a certain group of people that, look, because of the seeming acrimony between the Bawumia and Kenejapon factions, I am a better person, better placed to unify the party. People bought into it. Okay, that is not to say that those people didn't believe in the candidature of Dr. Bawumia or even Kenejapon. Okay, so the dynamics of political messaging all goes to inform what the outcome is. So it is not concerning to me that 40% plus voted for the two other candidates. What is of concern to me is that Dr. Bawumia won decisively with the majority of the party behind him. My expectation is that the 40% or so plus will also come, join the 56 in pushing the agenda of the party towards election 2020.
How do you respond to people who say that, look, this victory and the numbers that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia attained is fairly predictable because the delegates essentially or largely are the same. They were the same people who felt and thought and believed that he was the right person to lead your party into the 2024 elections, and nothing has changed really. And so they're the same group of people who voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And so really and truly, there really wasn't a competition per se. How do you respond to that?
Look, for me, it's immaterial, but okay. I'm not so sure that that assessment is even accurate.
Right.
Because you had an expanded electoral college, I believe.
You've added some, okay. I think some 10,000, 11,000 thereabouts. Yeah. Test corner, a few other groups.
Whichever way you look at it, It wasn't the same. Even though, yes, you are right that the police station executives, the coordinators, and in any event, it's not the first time that has happened. And that notion that this was a top-down, in itself is neither here nor there.
Right.
Because the party structure does not include presidential and parliamentary primaries. Okay, the party structure starts from the police station through electoral area, through constituency, region to national. Presidential and parliamentary primaries are the preserve of the National Council, who then, depending on the dynamics, exercise a discretion in a certain manner. And, the run-up to the elections clearly vindicated the National Council that if we had delayed any further, probably disintegration, would have been much more. But I was there Saturday night. I listened to all the aspirants who participated, who lost. Their commitment to the party has been amply, stated, and we will work together as one unit.
Do you believe them?
I do. I do believe them. In the sense that these are consummate Democrats. Okay, my good friend and leader, Senior Santa, Honorable Kennedy Japan, is a blue blood MPP. Okay, he believes in the cause of the party. He's contributed significantly to the growth and development of the party. I'm not so sure that this is the time that he would want to walk away. I'm not so sure. I know him. Okay, Brian Achampon clearly sees some future leadership role for him, having participated in the first time and getting the kind of numbers that he did. If he walks out, what's going to be, happening to his political future? He is better off staying and working, to build the confidence and trust of a greater number of party people, so that in the future when Dr. Bawumia is not there, he may potentially be in pole position. I'm sure that others will emerge, as is expected. Dr. Duchum, Kwabena Agyapong, a party man through and through. And so I expect that they would be around, work, as one unit towards 2028.
I have 3 more questions, but before we do that, I guess I'm told that, you say we should take a break? Okay, so they say we're talking too much, so let's take a break.
This evening I...
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
A Abusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enye. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama o manyina obenye bi wase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action.
Me did Sasso spray. Mr. Friendly Sasso quell.
Yeah, go to my Sasso. Tum preko.
Healthy soil is where every great harvest begins. At ACAP, we turn waste into wealth, producing rich organic compost made right here in Ghana for our farmers and our future. Whether you are planting small or big, ACAP compost improves your soil, boosts your yields, and saves you money. Even in your own home garden, give your soil life naturally. ACAP compost, from waste to wealth.
Oh, Jose, and I made the SMS. Cannon Pano, Nasana, Michiana, what me. A drain I didn't quano. Kingdom Garlic Bitters. No, benefit him. Me benefit wine. Also, what told dear? Abrewa, the smama, Abrente, Mishuve. One antique crana wabre. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and any capsules. Nanya, what ya bribia.
Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and the capsules. Assembia, a devil when Amawani, I'd say. Send your name, wife, complain one personal. Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules, and tea. Say, see, and pass why.
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules. Emeni Chienya Sumdiebefi, Abrebia. Obebia o de poa hauno. Edro bakupa wihiane Tremendous Capsules. Tremendous Capsules, esiesie wu ma wo ye obesima. Edno yi ubenya bi obebi ayeton robia. Kingdom Herbal, no challenger.
Get ready to splash into love this Valentine's season. Join the Campus Red Pool Party on Friday, 13th February 2026 at the Bayview Village, Atomic Junction. Rates is 60 cedis for singles and 100 Ghana cedis for couples. Time is 4 p.m. sharp. Come in your red bikinis for the ladies and red shorts for the gentlemen. Don't miss out on the fun, games, and vibes. Campus Red Pool Party. Love is in the air.
You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. My name is Aldo More. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for staying with us. We truly and genuinely appreciate your patronage of the show. Still with us here. It's a former MP and a former minister and a former deputy minister as well. I'm talking about Andre Japa Mensah. He's with us here on the show. And also, known far long. She has been absent for a while. She's back home briefly, and she tells us that soon she'll be running away again, back to New York. We can only wish her well. She's an information officer with the ISD, that's the Information Services Department, but currently in New York. So, Honorable, you and I were having a conversation about the Bawumia feat of victory and matters arising, and we got to the point where you talked about the fact that you're confident that the losing parties will come on board, and you don't have any reason to doubt their dedication, commitment to the party. Now, the other issue has to do with this, that so Bawumia has won. He's now the flag bearer. Now, I don't want to call him a leader because per your party's constitution, is a national chairman who's the leader. But I've heard some people say that now that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the flag bearer of your party, he may, and in fact, some people think that he should have an interest in who becomes the next national chairman, the next regional officers, constituency officers, area ward coordinators, police station executives, etc., etc. He should have an interest, and in fact, he should influence it to some extent. There are those also disagree and say, look, let the things play out the way they're supposed to be. Let the people choose who they want them to lead them at whatever levels. Are those who have those concerns, in fact, now closely tied to that or related to that, some people who feel that, look, in your upcoming internal elections, which starts, I think, by the end of this year, gets to the end of this year, some people will be targeted because they worked against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Put all of this in context for us. Is there something like that in the pipeline? Do you think that knowing the kind of relationship you have with Dr. Mahmoud, a very close, not just a political, but also like a very close friend of his, do you think he'll be interested in influencing who becomes what and at what level?
I haven't had a chance to speak to him about that.
Right.
But knowing him, he's not a vindictive person. Indeed, and in fact, some of the people who contested him in 2023 have tend to be very close allies of Dr. Bawumia. You can speak to Kojo Poku, and Communist Japan even ran up to the 2024 general election.
Right.
I'm not so sure that he would change with the way with which he relates to people, regardless of how acrimonious this 2026 primaries turned out to be. Okay. The party's constitution is very clear. I'm not so sure whether there will be any amendments that are tabled going forward, okay, that would change the status quo. So the party members will elect their polling station executives. They will go ahead and elect their coordinators. They together would do the national chairmanship role. Yes, I've heard of those views that, look, if you select the flag bearer, he should have the right to appoint people to.
So basically, he needs loyal and committed people to his cause.
To his cause. But elections are a complete machinery. I'm not so sure whether one person in a particular role can manage the election in any particular geographical area. So if you come to my constituency, for example, I'm not so sure that the chairman of the constituency, even if he doesn't believe in Dr. Bawumia, can manage the campaign in his own right. It requires a team, okay, some of whom are appointed by the candidate. And so you have the opportunity to then shape, to some extent, how your campaign is run in the various constituencies across the country. But let's see how things play out. Like I said, I haven't had a conversation with him to find out whether he'll be interested in, but I can say for a fact that I know that he's not a vindictive person. He's quite accommodating. He's very open-minded. He believes in the freedom of choice, that the fact that people didn't support him in the primaries makes them public enemy number one. I'm not so sure.
You were political colossus in this town. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that at all. I mean, people who know you quite personally know that you understand politics. Of course, there's a limit to which understanding of politics can keep you in power. What political philosophy do you subscribe to? Which is, as a politician, must you make sure that you get loyal soldiers on your side? Or allow people to do what they do?
Well, loyalty is important in every human endeavor, not only politics.
Yes.
Okay? Because I'm not so sure whether you leave your drink, for example, at Honeysuckle, where you and I meet every now and then. Okay? and go to the washroom.
It's my senior center.
If you didn't trust the people that you were sitting on
I'll
the
never
team.
do that.
But it's not political environment.
It's true. So
Right?
loyalty is key.
Absolutely.
How do you get that if you decide to stay off and say, look, do as you please?
So he has acolytes on the ground.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
so look, what I will find is level.
Okay.
And
I think
and
that's
he will get the
all
right
up.
people
Right.
who are party people first, because that's most important.
Okay.
To work, to want to aspire to these positions. The party will choose them to manage the party and the 2028 process on behalf of the candidate and the party.
My penultimate question. No, don't worry. You know, you are not an MPP member.
I'm cool.
So you chop your house
I'm
matter.
waiting for my bite.
Oh, you don't want to chop your house matter?
Ghana is my house. So MPP is my house matter. NDC is also my house matter. So
their interest in our primaries was just surprising to me.
But we are part of the country.
To the extent that they were campaigning for some of our, they wanted to choose our candidates for us.
No. But did you see the way they conducted their primaries? At a point, it was seriously volatile. Imagine if anything had happened. We are also in the country. We have to be worried about the safety and security of this country. That's why we're interested in your election.
I see.
Yeah.
She's giving you
a national security angle. National security angle.
Yeah.
Anyway, why they were interested in our primaries. Amazing.
Yes, every well-meaning Ghanaian had to be interested.
Wonders they say shall never end.
Unless you're not interested in multi-party democracy. You're interested in multi-party, you must be interested. But so back to the issue I raised about the reconciliation. I've heard the flag bearer talk about the fact that he's going to embark on a massive reconciliation exercise. Now, first of all, you have been in that situation before where after winning your parliamentary elections or your parliamentary primaries, you've had to go around talking to people to get them to come on board because for them it's one MPP. First of all, I have just two questions. How do you suppose Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia must go about this reconciliation in order to attain, which is the key objective of making sure that you get people to truly and genuinely come on board and not pretend, which is the key objective? Now, of course, the overall action objective will be to deliver 2020 elections. The second question is this, that given the kinds of utterances that have been made by some of the contestants, where, strictly speaking, they've just not indicated the fact that they don't believe in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but they've actually gone ahead to talk about what he worships, where he comes from. In fact, there's a video we played yesterday, KT Amon, where he says Ken personally approached him and told him that there was no way that a Muslim will be elected as a flag bearer in this country. And so he, KT Amon, should not vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. In fact, he confessed it, and we haven't had anybody from Ken's camp, you know, who would come and tell us what KT Amon has said is not true. I mean, I can go on and talk about some of the things that have been said, but quite clearly, yes, quite clearly, we'll play that video at some point, but quite clearly, it's not just the fact that they don't believe in him, but there's a certain deep-seated, I want to choose my words carefully, but it's the passion to make sure that he doesn't get there. It was quite clear.
But you see,
how do you attain reconciliation with the kinds of things we heard?
Anybody who is of the view that a Muslim cannot rise to the office of the president really waived that view when a Muslim is selected as vice president. Because the vice president is only a heartbeat away from the president. And so if people who hold that view accept that it's okay for a Muslim to be vice president, then how is it that a Muslim cannot be president? Okay, why should that even become an issue in an inclusive society such as ours, where we all, okay, have rights under the Constitution of our republic, where we all ought to be, our position in society ought to be dependent on our competencies as opposed to our faith. In any event, Desmond Tutu said that faith was a risk. Because nobody knows, right?
Right.
As though, but it was one that he cannot afford not living without. So as to whether our faith is really what the Almighty God subscribes to, or is the Muslim faith, we all don't know, because we all have not been to the other side before. Okay, and so really, I fail to see why, and it was unfortunate that it played out in the primaries. I really was sad that this day and age, any consideration for the high office of the president would be subjected to this level of, but I recognize that people feel that way. Save that others also feel that, look, it doesn't matter where one is from, what one believes in. So long as a person has demonstrated some competencies, the desire to serve his people, he should be able to have the opportunity to do so. Okay, but look, in every campaign, stuff happens. A lot of things are said. People regret post the election. Some people still have deep-seated positions that you have to move away from. But that's the name of the game. You can't have it your way. It's a complex mix of all sorts of views. You just have to have the heart to stomach some of the extreme positions and to try and work to ensure that we all come to an acceptable middle ground. I have some of my very best friends being Muslim. Okay, I have some of my very, 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 very best friends being away from the north and all that. And probably because of the secondary school boarding house system that we all benefited from. So I don't see people with those lenses. You believe in what you believe in is fine, as long as you have what it takes to do the job. You have the right temperament to occupy the office. I think that everybody should be given an opportunity.
So you believe true reconciliation is possible?
Yeah, it is. It is. If there's willingness to forgive, okay, we can sit around the table and resolve some of these matters. Okay, and many a time you would see that people seek to exploit, okay, some ignorances, political expediency. I believe that. Otherwise, really, are very, very senior bishops who send me messages encouraging me that, look, good job you're doing, keep at it. Make sure that we return Dr. Bawumia as the candidate of the party. Some people have other views, but they don't share them with me, maybe. So it is what it is. I believe that Dr. Bawumia has demonstrated quite clearly that he has the ability to forgive. He sees some of these things as excesses that would necessarily be associated with our politicking, even though we all should work to move away from them. We are one people with a common destiny. Wherever one comes from or whatever faith one believes in should not be eligibility criteria for aspiring to high public office. And so, yeah.
All right. Were there nervous moments?
During the lead up to the none whatsoever. Like I said to you,
So in fact, on election day,
not at all.
there were no nervous
No,
moments.
not at all. Dr. Bawumia was winning. I mean, was not in doubt.
You didn't hear what the
all
prophets. You didn't hear what the prophets were saying.
I had multiple prophets saying different things.
One of them has apologized.
And so I went to the
He
ground.
said the God that spoke to him has misled him.
I went to the ground to work. Don't lead me into temptation. I will not fall for it. I went to the ground and prayed and asked God to let my preferred candidate win. And he listened to my prayer, and that of many others. And Dr. Bawumia won.
I see. So you couldn't be bothered with some of those prophecies and things that.
Don't lead me into temptation. I'm not going to respond. I said I had multiple prophets.
Okay. You chose to believe who you want to believe.
I prayed to God and went down to do my work. And the results clearly showed.
But I think we need to give it to Musa Danquah, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Incredible guy.
Yes.
Musa Danquah, he's a real deal.
He understands his job.
He's a real deal. I think that now all the doubting Thomases must give the guys a stone to him and say, you're the guy. Very close, eh? He said 47 and 57. Almost
57.
He said,
why do I keep saying 40? God, forgive me again. 57.
And,
57. 57. Oh, thanks.
But there was an error of margin, 3%.
So
it still fell within. I'm surprised that
range.
now the NPP believes so much in Musa Danquah. I've seen some of them.
Nobody has. You see, look. Okay, you
may not be you personally. That's what she means. May not be you personally.
Go ahead.
Interesting. I've never heard Bobo's opinion on Musa Danquah.
Well, I wouldn't say him personally, right? But there are a lot of MPP members.
Speak for yourself and stop this MPP
some
business.
Of them.
I don't know why you are more interested in MPP than we ourselves.
So you can't say we should say of MPP.
She believes in multi-party democracy. Yes. She said Ghana is her constituency.
Yes.
Anyway,
the whole country is my constituency. And we have had situations in the past during the 2024 elections where a lot of them spoke against Musa Danquah's polls, right? Rubbishing completely the figures that he put out. They turn around during their primaries, and some of them are now praising him. As for me, I think it was pretty clear that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was going to win the primaries. I think it was easy for anyone to tell. So for me, a lot of people said previously because he was an establishment candidate, so it was easier for him. I always felt that he is still an establishment candidate because he was front-facing for over 8 years, right? As a vice president, he had a very central role. He was seen, he was known, he was part of the structure and the processes of the party. And so he was more exposed to the members of the party and the delegates than anyone else. That is what I think. Even in the lead up to the primaries, I did make several posts explaining why I thought Bawumia was going to win the primaries. And of course, I had a few pushbacks from others who thought there were prophecies that stated otherwise. It's not my job to judge or condemn any man of God.
Sorry, back to the earlier point you made about his role as vice president and how that sort of connected him to party, officers and party faithfuls and so on. I mean, I'm sure someone can make the same argument about Aliyu Mahama. He was vice president for 8 years. What do you think is the difference?
It would be difficult to say what the difference is. I think that there's also
Still speaking about this establishment candidate argument, that's where...
Yeah. It's about how you relate to the delegates, the message that you give to the delegates. His win was pretty clear, but I also think that in the lead up to the primaries, his main opponent, everyone thought his main opponent was Kennedy Agyapong. And in the discourse leading up to the primaries, the acrimony between them was higher than with any other candidate. Because I think that the Bawumia camp also believed there were two main camps, Bawumia and Kennedy camp. Going into the primaries, what we all observed was that Brian is actually more of a challenge than Kennedy. That's what I would consider Brian the biggest opponent for Dr. Bawumia, especially in subsequent primaries.
Right.
The figures that Brian was recording, when I was listening to the results trickling in, and I noted the kind of numbers he was pulling as a first-time candidate and as someone who did not have much time to even campaign, I thought it was quite significant. If you're going into an election with him, it's important to understand what you're going against. The focus was put so much on Kennedy Japan that the team might have failed to estimate what they could expect from Brian, right? I think Brian was the main opponent in this election.
Right.
And an acceptance of, 51 something percent. It's a clear win, of course, but it's still a drop down from 2024.
Right.
You should be wondering if the 40-something percent do not have confidence in Dr. Bawumia to lead the party. And if you have 40-something percent of your members not having confidence in the candidate that you have chosen, it means you have a lot of work to do, even internally. Are you disagreeing? There's a lot of work to do internally, even before you come out to campaign to the good people of Ghana.
I don't think I would disagree with you entirely, because he even said that he would have wished he had a higher margin. But the most important things are his won.
Well, you won.
Yes.
And that's, in the beginning, I listened to some analysts, and a lot of them even feared that given the figures Brian was pulling, he would push it into a runoff. Luckily, as time went on, the figures showed that Bawumia was in a clear lead. There were some constituencies in which Brian had more votes, and you have to understand that if your own people have questions about your ability to lead them, then you have a lot of work to do.
Right.
When it comes to reconciliation, now that they have won, they have to go out there and reconcile with their people. The win they have is an internal endorsement, not a general Ghanaian endorsement. It's your people who have endorsed you. He made reference to the margins that President John Dramani Mahama won by, and he wasn't able to win at the national level. That should tell you that even by that margin, he still had challenges in the general elections. You should anticipate the kind of challenges you are going to have, even among your own people. There were some who said that once their candidates lose, they were going to help the NDC to campaign. I hope we can still rely on them to follow up on their word.
Yeah.
But that endorsement is within. For their own interest, it's in their own best interest to ensure that there is unity at their grassroots level, internally among the delegates, before they even come out in the general elections. Because their need for winning the general elections should surpass their personal differences. I don't know how they are going to bridge that gap, but this is going to be a very critical challenge for them. I am not someone who subscribes to religious and tribal politics. And at a point when their primaries took that turn, it was quite concerning. I told you that I was concerned as a Ghanaian about the primaries. So there's a reason why we kept keen interest on it. As an activist, which I used to be, there's something we call intersectionalism, right? And when you are intersectional, you are able to recognize not just discrimination against you. I would talk about discrimination based on my gender, but you also have to recognize other people's discriminations, like discrimination against people based on race, religion, tribe, all of that, and understand that all these are interconnected to be able to understand the problems that you all confront.
Right.
The issues are not isolated. And I think that now that Dr. Bawumia has taken charge of the NPP, going into the next general elections, he has to also understand that he has inherited the performance of the NPP in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. Mesa referenced the fact that we are still benefiting from some of his ideas. I think that's where the NPP have gotten it wrong, right? You cannot simultaneously sell someone as a chief idea bank that even the present government is benefiting from his ideas, and yet alienate him and manage to turn you into a helpless driver mate when it's time to take responsibility. We have to be honest in that approach.
Okay.
You cannot deny responsibility for every failure under your government, trying to make us believe that you were not as in charge as you should have been, and yet absolve yourself of all the economic challenges and the economic mess that Ghanaians had to experience. And then today you tell us that the NDC's achievements are your achievements. Why didn't those achievements manifest when your government was in power? That's a very disingenuous approach. They have their strategy completely upside down and should be able to confront the failures of the previous government that the Ghanaian people had to face. Be able to own it, because the performance defined the reality of a lot of Ghanaians. You have to take control of it, accept responsibility, and be able to tell Ghanaians, listen, we messed up. The debt distress, the high inflation, the fall prices, the currency mismanagement, even to the point of the DDEP, the debt management issues that Ghanaians, even pensioners, had to confront. Situations that we have never had in this country. Today, you can see... It
means that you don't buy the reasons that they keep giving for why we...
No, absolutely not. Absolutely, I think that
factors.
is a completely dishonest approach. And especially if that is the line you're towing, you shouldn't in the same breath be taking responsibility for the good parts of governance today. Yes, so if you take credit for good governance today and tell me that under your government you were helpless, how am I supposed to reconcile that? How does that even sound like a good approach to you? You know, today as we speak, we have a more stable economy.
Right.
In fact, the last government domestic borrowing was oversubscribed. Government exceeded targets in the domestic capital market. That should tell you that there's a renewed confidence from investors in the domestic market. There's a renewed trust in government to be able to make good on its borrowing and to get investments the value that they want, even at a lower interest rate than we saw in the most recent past. In 2022, 2023, 2024, interest rates for Treasury bills went as high as 30%. Even then, there were shortfalls. Today, we find that at some, 11, 12% interest rates, because the economy is relatively stable, you have lower inflation, you have a more stable currency, you have moderate fuel prices. There is confidence enough for investors to say, we will give our money to... Just a year or two ago, people were running away from domestic investment, especially when, after they invested domestically and their profits were completely eroded, some of them had their principals completely eroded. So there is good governance, there is a stable economy, and that is a great departure from the previous norm and a vast improvement in what government inherited. So we are thankful that government is able to lead the economy to a point where there's fresh trust, fresh belief, and fresh hope. Hope is such a powerful thing, to be able to know that the country in which you live in is being governed properly and your future is quite secure. Businessmen and women have the peace of mind to invest, to make plans for their businesses, and to be sure that things are going to go well for them. As for the NPP, I think their approach to issues they have to move away from completely denying responsibility for the issues that we have faced in the last how many years, and be able to do honest politics and take complete responsibility. Because if you have now become the flag bearer of your party, it means that you are taking complete responsibility. You are now the face of the party. Even though he's not the leader of the party, he's the face of the party. He's the main person they are going to try to sell in the next general elections. And if you're going to sell an individual who was closely tied to the mismanagement and bad performance of the previous government, then you have to be able to decouple him from that administration. And how do you do that? He was a key component. He was the leader of the economic management team.
But he has just told you.
He was the vice president.
He has just told you that no election are the same.
I agree.
So he says the factors that played out in 2022 may not be the same factors that will play out in 2028. So that gives them some comfort or reassurance, unless you disagree.
Let me tell you the factors that will play out in 2028.
Okay.
Ghanaians are still going to vote based on their personal situations.
Okay.
And the question is simple. Compared to 2023, 2022, in the lead up to the 2024 general elections, and today, what is the difference? Do you really want to go? I'm sure even some people have complained about seeing hardcore MPP members at the pumps buying fuel at this price, and yet still discounting the contributions of this present government. How are you able to enjoy the benefits of the stability of the economy and the governance and the principles that have been put in place to ensure stability? You are enjoying all the benefits as a Ghanaian. At no point do you go to the pumps and say that, give me the previous price, give me the price under the MPP. If they can go to the fuel stations and say, when they give them, say, please let me pay the previous price, then I would have some respect for them and be able to understand the opposition. So Ghanaians are going to vote based on their personal economies. How is your personal economy? Do you prefer the previous status quo? Do you want to go back to that situation? Or are you happier now when you look at the inflation rate that we took from some 23% in the beginning of 2025 down today, single digits? Even at a point in 2022, that same inflation rate went as high as 52, 54%. You can argue COVID-19, you can argue Russia, Ukraine, and all of those wars. But at the end of the day, how was it? We are not without crisis in this present government. There are still some vulnerabilities to external issues. But how do you manage them? And how do you ensure that your domestic economy is insulated from it? They call themselves an idea bank. Where were the ideas when Ghanaians were suffering? Where were those ideas when we so desperately needed a turnaround in our living situations? We didn't see it. My point is that I wholeheartedly congratulate Team Bawumia for winning the primaries and cementing his position as flag bearer for the MPP for 2028.
I've heard Godwin Tamaklo on another platform, who's the MPA Chief Executive Officer, saying that Bawumia was his personal preference because he believes that the NDC will be able to beat Bawumia more comfortably. What was your preference?
I didn't have a preference.
He said he's grateful to the MPP delegates for bringing back Bawumia. What's your preference? You don't have a preference?
Yes, that's a very good point made by Eddie.
Absolutely, they said he wanted Bawumia.
He's one of my bosses.
Yeah. Because he said Ken is a bit unconventional, so you can't really tell the kind of politics or kind of campaign he will wage. But as for Bawumia, he's a known quantity, so they know.
Well, you can tell based on the kind of campaign he waged against even his own people. You can tell the kind of campaign he's going to come into the national elections with. Okay. I'm not a big fan of Ken because when I was a journalist, we had a lot of issues with him on the media front and the impunity with which he approached safety to journalists. So for that reason, I have always been very vocal about my opposition to Ken. There are other candidates within the NPP who could have won. Like I'm saying now, Brian has emerged as a very strong opponent to Dr. Bawumia. But I always thought that regardless of not having a horse in the game, I thought Bawumia was better placed to win. You know, he's been in the system for a long time. It was very easy for anyone to see that. I mean, you study the dynamics, and then Musa Dankwa's polls, which we have come to respect so much. He's quite knowledgeable of his field. Everyone has their field in which they are really good. And he put out very good figures. I aligned more with those figures and the data than anything else. And the data was very explanatory, you understand.
You don't believe in prophecies?
I am a very staunch Christian. And I do believe in prophets and their role in Christianity. There are one or two prophets that I believe in. But I wouldn't say that I believe everything any prophet says. I try to reason it out. For example, if you come and tell me that tomorrow I'll become a bird, I would think about the possibilities. I will not just accept it, hook, line, sinker, right? There's also one thing I believe that a lot of Christians should reconnect more with God personally. I have a very personal relationship with God, and I usually think that if God is going to tell anyone about me, you tell me first. So if you come and tell me that God said something, I'll pray about it myself. In the lead up to 2024, there were NPP elements who would say, this prophet said there's no way Mahama would win the elections. You remember all those things.
Yes.
So we cannot say we'll believe everything every prophet will say, right? And I used to tell them, are you sure? Even after the NPP primaries, when people were making posts teasing certain prophets and saying that the voice of God did not come to pass, I said, did you hear God say it? Or did you hear a man telling you that God said? There's also one thing we have to understand. Sometimes God can give a prophet a message, but he might not really decode it properly. Maybe there's a slight shift in the way that he interpreted it. Interpretations are different. But we all, at the end of the day, need to go back to God in prayer, whichever God we believe in, and to rely more on the trust we have in God directly than turning people into oracles. Believing so much in men. And at some point, some of these prophets fail to give the glory to God. They claim it with so much authority and make it seem like they are oracles, when in fact, God is the one above us all. So I think that we should be careful in the way that we approach prophecies. I also think that prophets should be careful in the way that they dabble in politics. I don't think God is sitting around waiting to make predictions for elections every time Ghana goes to the primaries or goes to the general election. I don't think that is God's main duty, right? So let's all be careful. And at the end of the day, let's give the glory to God.
And these prophets have turned out to be only political prophets. I mean, the only...
That's my point. Like, God is not sitting around waiting for political seasons.
You only hear of them when there's some contest coming up.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's one of these days, hopefully when you're able to join us sooner, because these days you're a big man. You know, you don't have time for Good Morning Ghana. But hopefully when we're able to have you from time to time, you know, we need to have a conversation about this.
Every time that you've invited me, I avail myself.
That's how he has become. Too big for all of us.
You are a big man. Me, I'm in opposition.
Too big for all of us.
How can I be a big man when I'm in
opposition? If I text Honorable Mensana, he will reply in 2 months.
You know, but I'm saying that.
You see?
Well, we need to have a whole conversation about this prophetic ministry and prophetic. It's becoming a problem, honestly. It's really becoming a problem, and we need to
because our population is very religious. You see, there are a lot of Ghanaians.
So abuse people just because they are religious.
Yes, so that is something we have to hold the prophets accountable for.
Shouldn't there be some consequences?
You never get me
what can
to go
you do
there.
to them?
Because I have a lot of friends who are.
For me, I trust God absolutely.
Ministers of God.
Yes.
See, me, I trust God absolutely. Everything that happens to me, I believe is ordained.
Yeah.
So me, I don't talk about prophets. I don't talk about pastors.
Case closed. Okay, I'll come to you.
But you see, I thought she'd finished.
Hold on.
She said a lot of things that I've been sitting here.
But you know how long you were talking for? How long did I talk for? 10 minutes. You were talking for like 10 minutes.
I haven't said you've talked for too long. I've said you said a lot of things.
All the things you said.
But you also said a lot of things. I've maybe I responded to some.
No. Let me ask you this. There's a setting. According to setting, or a perception or a feeling that, it may be grounded or not, that the NDC somewhat preferred Ken to win these elections. Well, I would say the NDC, but some elements within the NDC have got to be fair to the fact. Wanted Ken to win this election because they fear Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Oh, how?
Now, there's another school of thought that tells me that actually they wanted Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to lose because they want to basically tease him. For some of those people, they still harbor ill feelings or they still harbor hate about the way he treated the current president, John Dramani Mahama.
Yeah.
And so they've been looking for an opportunity for him to fall, basically. For them to say, Otria, even your own party, you are not liked. Next time, be careful what you say to John Dramani Mahama. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure you've heard some of that. In fact, just this morning, Bobo was just telling us that, look, it appears that the NDC was showing more interest in the NPP elections, more than some of the NPP people. How do you respond to that?
I think that...
do you fear Bawumia?
The interest... No, absolutely not.
Okay.
He's the same candidate that the NDC beat in the just ended election. It's only been 1 year. The difference isn't much. And I made mention earlier that now that he has become flag bearer again, I heard one of your members on City this morning saying that this was even more difficult than 2024 elections.
Okay.
There was one of the people in the Bawumia camp said it was very intense, and at every point in time you couldn't be sure exactly what you were dealing with.
Right.
I think they had a bigger struggle internally than anywhere else. As to the things he said about John Mahama, I want to believe that politics is a path of growth, and with time, you come upon certain realizations that will inform your behavior for the better. Otherwise, you're not learning.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions that we need to move away from a politics of name calling, a politics
personal attacks
of insults, attacks on individuals, their persons and personalities. I agree with him, but I also think that his camp is also guilty, and it should be both ways, right? I think that descending into the gutter is never the right way to go about it. But what names didn't we see them call John Mahama, President John Mahama, in just a few years ago? As to how he treated John Mahama, I think he had an even greater dose from his own people in the primaries. So I am a person of forgiveness, and I think that he has grown from that period. And anyone else who thought it was okay to name call and put out a lot of false information, which I'm usually very particular about, the level of disinformation in our politics is very concerning, especially in this era of artificial intelligence, where it's so easy to sit behind your phone or your laptop and create synthetic media that you can quickly put out there to defame someone's character or misalign with things that never happened, okay? I'm not afraid of Dr. Bawumia. I'm not afraid of Kennedy. I think that both candidates will come with different challenges where the general elections are concerned. It's not like none of them is a threat. Once you are going against an opponent, then you have to understand that there are many possibilities. But going into 2028, Ghanaians are still going to judge based on the economy. and their exposure to both governments. They've been exposed to the NPP. They have, they have been disillusioned. There are people who were disenfranchised under the NPP. Today, they have seen a significant difference, right? You are going to go into the election to win the trust of Ghanaians, beyond the rhetoric that you have told your delegates and getting enough of them to vote for you to become the flag bearer. What are you going to tell Ghanaians? Where are you going to start from? Are you going to recognize your role, or are you going to tell them again that you had nothing to do with it, while laying claim to what
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has rendered an unqualified apology to Ghanaians. He says he's sorry for what the MPP did to Ghanaians, but he wants
It's the
opportunity.
same Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia who told us that he was a mate. He was never in the steering wheel.
Yeah, but the more recent pronouncement is
if you were a mate,
we are sorry.
No,
Shouldn't that cancel?
No, I think the more forward thing to do would have been to say, during the times that things were really bad, when he discovered that he didn't really have control, if indeed he didn't have the control that he claims.
You believe that?
I don't
you
believe
mean
it.
He claims okay.
I don't believe it.
Right.
He's the one trying to convince us that he did not have that much power. If Dr. Bawumia at any point had come out to say, I am resigning from my position, yes, because I am not able to implement the promises that I made to Ghanaians. He sold himself as an economic messiah to Ghanaians.
You want him to end his political career?
So when he's coming in 2028, what is he coming to camp? Is he coming to, again, tell us he's an economic messiah, or he's now a digital messiah? Which one is it going to be?
Digitalization is part of the economy.
I hear you.
So he hasn't moved away.
But back to the polls and the data and what they say.
Right.
When it comes to both Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy, when you look at the data, which some pollsters have already started working on earnestly, Musa Dankwa has even done analysis, even before the primaries. He did an analysis juxtaposing different candidates
I saw yesterday
on the NDC side with, and he did it months ago. I think he just reiterated it
yesterday,
recently. And he used different candidates within the NDC. He mentioned the candidates that he thought would be interested in the position, or who he thinks should be interested in the position of flag bearer for the NDC, and made it clear that whichever comes against the MPP is still going to win.
Right.
So if you bring anyone from within the NPP to face any of the potential candidates within the NDC, the MPP is still going to lose, according to the data. It doesn't mean we don't have any work to do. The government is still hard at work and is doing its best to ensure economic transformation and economic stability, right? That's why I'm saying at the end of the day, when we come into 2028 elections, can you win the trust of Ghanaians? And to win the trust of Ghanaians, you have to give them tangible reasons, not just rhetoric. So it's going to be judged on performance against rhetoric.
Right.
The rhetoric of the economic lectures that promised Ghanaians heaven and delivered the abyss, and the performance today that they see that is stabilizing their lives and improving their lives. How do you compare the two?
Okay.
That is what they are going to choose between.
All right, Bobo.
Politicians, we never learn.
Why?
We never learn.
You also said that Mahama was a known quantity.
Oh my.
We never learn. It is surprising to me. It's surprising to me why we keep going round in circles.
Who is going to be your
you see,
running mate?
Why
you see, going to be your running mate?
Why are you preempting my next question?
Really?
That's my next question.
Only
Come up, anyway.
10 years ago,
Yes.
2016,
Yes.
Mr. Mahama was followed at the poll, such that the MPP wrote him off. 8 years down the line, he came and won an election by the highest margin ever recorded in our electoral history. They don't learn. And so they turn around and say, oh, because Baumia lost. Baumia is a known quantity. We hear. 2028.
I said
madam.
It's okay, it's okay.
Please.
You go ahead.
You see, it's one of two things. Either that we don't learn or that we are members of the Short Memory Association of Ghana. And we have very short memory. And so we forget easily. Because otherwise...
move away from politics of name calling.
Otherwise, the factors that led to the NDC going to the IMF in 2014, 2015, which we are told was as a result of some instability in the Chinese economy, not global, which then impacted Ghana such that we had kept our citizens in darkness for almost 4 years. Our exchange rate was up in the roof. Fuel prices. We forget. China sneezed. And Ghana caught a cold. Yet we are quick to say that our opponents mismanaged economy. Mismanaged which economy? We had real issues. And you guys can describe Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia any which way you want.
Right.
But time, is always what vindicates everybody. Look, right from the very beginning, I gave a background to what had caused the economic crisis that we went into. It was global. Debt exchange was not only Ghana specific. Many countries across the world went through the same process. And the impact was real. Ghanaians suffered. Pensioners, like you mentioned, true, no doubt. And it cannot be said that MPP has said that it was COVID and Ukraine. I have consistently said on this your show that we had issues, dual issues, energy sector, banking sector, such that in 2019 even the budgeting was reported below the line. That these were extraordinary expenditures. They were debts that we had contracted. Question is, what would have been the consequences on our economy if those issues had not been dealt with by the Akufo-Addo administration? We probably wouldn't be here. Those were real. So when COVID came, our situation was worse off than Burkina Faso because they didn't have that dual problem that Ghana had. It certainly was worse than La Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and all our neighbors. So you continue kidding yourselves and don't learn. Only today, Brent crude has risen from a $52 per barrel 2 weeks ago to 64. If it gets to 100, what can Mr. Mahama do about it? It will impact the pump price. It's not within your control. But you always want to take credit that fuel prices have come down. What did Mr. Mahama do about it? Yes, I agree. The exchange rate takes about 30% of the price computation. But there's a commodity which is within your control. Okay? So there were issues. I'm saying, and people have argued, and to the extent that Dr. Bawumia apologized, I agree with him. Because some have argued that maybe we didn't carry Ghanaians along sufficiently enough when the impact was hitting. Because, Moro, two issues. If you have a financial problem, you can either borrow to deal with it or raise revenue by way of taxes to deal with it. It is not in doubt that by end of 2021, we had issues, real ones. We proposed that, look, because we had borrowed to deal with this two-headed problem. And even COVID, yes, we got grants, but we borrowed money too. Or we didn't borrow. We borrowed huge sums of money during COVID. How are we going to deal with it? Let's pay some taxes, right? Because of the dynamics of Parliament, you people opposed it, such that we even breached the laws of this country. By 31st December, Section 22 of the Public Financial Management Act had been breached by Parliament of Ghana. That passed that same law, it breached it with impunity. So there were consequences. You saw the capital flight immediately in January, February, because external investors had no confidence in the budget. There wasn't the revenue lines to meet your appropriation that you had approved. Then Russia hits. Freight cost is real. It's not Akufo-Addo creation. The fact that freight cost moved from $2,500 to $15,000 on the 20th or so footer container was not Akufo-Addo creation, but it had an impact on our economy. How government responded to it was the IMF program that required us to do the debt exchange and all other things, including the reprofiling and renegotiation of our debt. That led to the ratings agencies today upgrading your economy. You want to take credit. What work did you do? Zilch. But like every issue when it confronts man, it's not resolved overnight. So the Akufo-Addo government bear the brunt, took the very difficult decisions that impacted Ghanaians in a very negative way. They responded in the election. And of course, the medicine had already been taken. We had taken the burden. We had taken the bullet. The result is what we are seeing. And we began to see it in 2024. When inflation dropped from mid-50 to 23. You can take the credit all you want to, but look, the reality will hit.
Well, we'll take a
Today,
break.
let me blunt, then you go, we won't come back.
Yes.
Today, it's all well and good. The dynamic, the numbers are looking perfect. No doubt. But what were the decisions that were taken that led to the numbers looking perfect today? And to what extent would the external factors, when they hit, impact you? Okay. CD is going up again. I hope it doesn't get to whatever numbers.
Right.
Because look, we are building a country. When the good things come, we all will benefit. My mortgage repayment has reduced because of exchange rate, no doubt. But we have to learn so that we manage the expectation of our people. That's why I'm telling you, you don't learn. You know the truth. Because it suits you, you sit here and talk in there. What have you done? Okay. The IMF program is still running. In fact, the president himself, during the New Year message, said that the real test, right, would be when we exit from the IMF program.
Right.
So really, you people take time.
Okay.
Because we've been there before.
Bobo. Please take time too. Take time.
Me, I'm cool.
Take time. You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. You know, it's a very tired subject matter. You know, the whole thing about the management of the economy by the erstwhile regime, and you would realize that opinions would differ. I mean, we've heard the likes of Professor Bokping and so on who have a different opinion, and the government's spokespersons at the time during the MPP time who also say they have a different opinion. My only question before us we're taking a break is whether in all of this, and it's not the first time I'm asking, whether, you know, the actors within that economy or the government at the time is going to suggest that on hindsight, things couldn't have been done better. That for me has always been my question. Because, you know, the repetition of the external factors as being the main cause seems to suggest to some people that still some members of the MPP do not want to agree that some things could have been done better.
Wait. Okay, so
where
it's not a question of only. I said that the external came to compound our problems. Right?
Exactly.
So for example, maybe on hindsight, the president should have allowed the banks to collapse and not supported the 4.3 million. No. Maybe precisely the point.
Not necessarily.
See. Maybe because it's not as if the previous government hadn't attempted a resolution of the problem that had reared its head as far back as 2013 or 2014. I'm coming.
There were counter views.
Like what? Which one?
There were people who didn't believe and did not accept the reasons that were given for the collapsing of the banks. They had a different approach. They proposed different models.
You see, I don't have a problem. You can always have multiple solutions.
You made a choice.
The resolution of a problem. Because every decision that you take will
one size fits all kind of thing.
Every decision that you take
will come with some consequences.
Will come with
some.
Very well.
We need to take a break. That's my senior Santa. So that's a Santa Claus debate. Please keep watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. We'll be right back.
Maria Marie, 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 Maria Marie.
Kwabena, ya boka, them turn rock, where she can't cook here. We can't cook here. We can't. Okay.
That's unfortunate.
And dear, you know, me tifa a jamisa. Because plans are a woman team no. Me sika enso.
Confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini ehu behia se metwa sapapa dia to ama me manfo Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients eno ene bo me se ho ban e ma ne sren ne sanso mama hotoso e wo bedwam.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Wabedum tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozing. I can say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji, Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Ah, Eji, I'll cause some discomfort. Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral?
Say a Pesori insecticide GB at a user. Ko pharmacy na shop biamu na mum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra na repedudu etu akoton a ono fra Royal Dutch and a Aerofield Trading efi spray wo dan wa twen.
Zoomlion Private Services Limited, your waste management expert. One of the most innovative aspects of our business is our commitment to adopting cutting-edge technologies and sustainable practices in the waste management industry. We have invested in modern waste collection trucks, digital payment systems. We have also implemented efficient waste segregation systems and also developed strategic partnerships with our various stakeholders in the waste management value chain. I can talk about our innovative approach that enables us to reduce waste disposal costs, also minimize our environmental impact, and provide our clients with seamless customer service experience. We are the waste management experts.
Get ready to splash into love this Valentine's season. Join the Campus Red Pool Party on Friday, 13th February 2026 at the Bayview Village, Atomic Junction. Rates is 60 cedis for singles and 100 Ghana cedis for couples. Time is 4 p.m. sharp. Come in your red bikinis for the ladies and red shorts for the gentlemen. Don't miss out on the fun, games and vibes. Campus Red Pool Party. Love is in the air. In every school, there is history. In every homecoming, there is pride. But in 2025, pride became competition. From convoys that shook the streets to colors worn with honor. From powerful reunions to legacy projects that will stand forever. Metro TV asked one bold question: which school truly owned the legacy in 2025? Welcome to School's Homecoming 2025. Who is who? Send your school name, convoy videos, speech and prize giving highlights, and your 2025 legacy projects to 0550 090 702. School's Homecoming, my school, my pride. This event is sponsored by Zoomlion and Appointed Time Printing. School's Homecoming 2025 is a Metro TV event supported by Original TV, Original 91.9 FM, and Metro Digital.
All right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with Mr. Andrew Ejapamesa. He's a former MP, former minister, and also a former deputy minister. And also Nuong Falong, she is an information officer with the Information Services Department. So I don't know who was on. Yeah, sorry. Please continue with you're saying that, I mean, look, the long and short of what you're saying is that it will be unfair to blame the government, Etwa government, for, you know, the economic situation we find ourselves in.
Certainly.
But he also added that it's important that there were some internal issues that we ought to deal with, and so it was a combination of both. It was a dual issue. I think that there's no debate about
any balanced conclusion to that effect. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because look,
I don't want us to
the truth of the matter is that whatever decisions that you take, you would evaluate all the nuances and then come to a certain conclusion.
Okay.
It may yield positive results,
right,
or some negative outcomes would arise therefrom. Okay. Right. And so, yes, to that extent, you are responsible. Nobody is running away from responsibility. But we need to be honest with the facts. That's all my issue. Okay? So if a government takes a decision to pay the energy sector bill, for example, how is it mismanagement?
Okay. Let me read a few messages. Sorry, I'll come back to you. So, Mansa Musa from Voice of London Radio in the UK says, good morning, Moro. The NPP will continue shouting and defending the indefensible because of the secrecy surrounding whatever investigations into scores of financial scandals of the previous administration. And the real under real normal circumstances, persons being investigated, the findings for acquittals and for prosecutions, even in the inquiry level, are all made public. But here's the case. Suspected financial grafters are going about town shouting even more louder because they are allegedly receiving unqualified pardons and the rest of it. The NDC government should respect citizens by conducting investigations in the open. Who is being investigated and for what should be made public so as to remove any suspicion of any underhand dealings. Otherwise, the NDC will find itself to blame. Good morning from Mansa Musa. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. In fact, anytime I see a Japa Mensah speak this way, quickly, what comes to mind is PDS. Moro, please, I want to know from a Japa Mensah whether the Ukraine-Russia war has ended as we speak today. The war is so heavier than first, but the NDC government led by a president is not using it as an excuse for the economy. In any case, this same story was used as a campaign message to Ghanaians, but the MPP was still rejected. So I'm sad to see that they still talk about Ukraine-Russia war. Is the Japa Mensah aware that the economy under them was rated as junk economy as we speak? Now the economy of Ghana is rated as B-. That is the difference between the NDC and MPP. Japa Mensah said the MPP should be made to know that they still have 1.7 million votes to deal with in 2028. They should give us a break. We have a country to govern. Mystic Wonder Avuko inside in Sawame Dredge says, good morning to you. A decorated monkey is still a monkey. Ghanaians know Dr. Mahmoud Bamia's track record as the head of the economic management team under the erstwhile administration. The Ronaldo Dr. Bamia-led government mismanaged the economy miserably, left the economy in a junk status, gave pensioners a wicked haircut, and failed Ghanaians disastrously. Never again to this nepotistic nation wreckers. My regards to Chairman Dr. Mark Oliver Kevo, the Eastern Regional Chairman of the NDC. McLean from Seshiri also, I believe, Seshiri also, says that over the past months, emotions ran high and unfortunately a lot of character assassination occurred. Many of us were affected. Honorable Mensah had his fair share. I had mine, and so did others. That period is now behind us, and it's time to heal, reconcile, and refocus on the bigger mission ahead. The NPP belongs to all of us, from grassroots members, polling station executives, constituency leaders, regional officers, national executives, and loyal supporters across Ghana. History teaches us powerful lessons that the NDC lost power in 2000 and 2024 largely due to internal, and similarly, the NPP suffered same fate in 2008 and 2012. Victory in 2028 will only be possible if we unite from polling station to national level and channel our energy into mobilization, grassroots engagement, policy advocacy, and strong communication. Let us move forward together, stronger, disciplined, focused, and determined to secure victory for the NPP and for Ghana in the 2028 general elections. Kojo Chumboafo sends a message. He says that, he says, good morning, Moro, and good morning to the beautiful, eloquent, and forever alluring Wala Princess Nwang. Please inform Japa that he thought he was going to get away from me. But alas, just ask Japa one small question for me. Is it the position of His Eminence Japa and his gang of pirates, brigands, buccaneers, usurpers, and interlopers, featuring the newly minted aplanque Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, that Ken Ofori-Atta was the cause of all our economic dislocations? But then tell us that the same Ken should not be brought back to Ghana to account for his stewardship of our economy. Make no mistake, Ken Ofori-Atta will be on the table for the 2028 elections because those who were dislocated by the murderous economic policies of Aplanque, the chairman of the EMT, who refuses any responsibility for his actions, inactions, commissions, and omissions. Japa, not only did you not carry us along, you insulted us when we complained. And may I just remind Japa that the last I checked, Russia-Ukraine was still ongoing. In fact, as we speak, there is Venezuela in Greenland is on the way, but the economy is still buoyant. And oh, you don't have a mortgage. All your mega mansions have been fully paid for in cash. Tridel says that, Moro, please permit me to use your medium to say a happy birthday to my friend and a brother from a different womb, Albert Kojo Yabua, popularly known as Carlos from Odudu. Wishing him an amazing day filled with love, laughter, and all the favorite things. He's another year older, wiser, and closer to the goals. Grateful to have him as a brother from another mother. He should celebrate big time with his wife. I repeat his wife today, Mommy. May this year bring him joy, success, and unforgettable moments. Cheers to many more years of adventures and making memories. That's Tradle. So today's your birthday. You didn't tell me. Oh, I thought you were friends. So happy birthday to you, Alfred Deboa. That's popularly known as Carlos. He says Carlos from Odudu. Then he adds, and I say God bless you. That's what he does all the time. So Carlos, good, happy birthday to you. And I wish you all the best. A fantastic chap. Keep doing the good things that we know you for, and may God grant you your heart desire as well. Happy birthday, Carlos from Odudu. Now, in fact, speaking of him, he just sent me a message. He says, "Good morning, bro." The man is not celebrating himself; he's doing politics. It says the MPP's election about me as this flag bearer is much ado about nothing. Like the PDS man in your studio, the last time he obtained 38%, this time he's unlikely to obtain 28%, as even the Makola women are saying. What I want to emphasize is that the NDC must wake up and take its grassroots seriously. When it comes to jobs, especially small jobs, visits to ministries and state institutions show that many directors and political appointees behave as though they have forgotten how the party came to power. This matter, every morning when I come here, comes up, grassroots agitation. Their treatment of grassroots and loyal party members is very appalling. These political directors and chief executives deliberately placed in strategic positions are demoralizing the party base and disappointing those who sacrifice for the party. This is an issue the government and all who truly have the party at heart must urgently address. Carlos from Odododo, and I say God bless you. Well, I'm sure that the NDC has heard you, and they would quickly move in and sort out some of this, because every day when I come here, this matter keeps coming up. Anyway, so Guy G, a very good friend, he says that tell Nwong Falong she's losing me. She owes me plenty calls. Hey, no. Now I'm beginning to feel a bit unsafe. Well,
explain.
Very uncomfortable and unsafe. And then he sends me this message. He says the only poster fixated on the opposition party, Miracles Abaji, takes off Musa Dankwa.
So Gaji I've known for many years, way back in.
You see, my soul sister that we go way back.
Yes, way back in. He used to be in New Jersey. He was one of the few Ghanaians I got to know a few years ago when I went to the US.
Oh, I see.
Gaji was one of those people way before he came to get himself involved in MPP politics and all of that. Yes.
Okay. So what was he working?
He was working
for the
in
government at the time, or was this?
No, he was on his own.
Oh,
yeah. He was there with his family.
Okay. Okay. No, Gaji, a big man.
Oh, he's a big man.
No, he's large and in charge.
Now I don't.
Oh, yeah, big man.
Now he's a political big man. Back then he was a regular
Guy
big
G. I don't know where I got the name from, actually. He's a guy. I don't know what his full
His name is Prince, but for some reason, everyone calls him Guy G.
I see. Now, Kwamina Acidity. As for the nicknames, there are plenty. Kwamina Acidity. He's sending us a message from Ahafo Achrensia. Ghanaians have already rejected Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. If the MPP brings him 10 times, Ghanaians will reject him 10 times. Ghanaians have witnessed the positive impact on John Dramani Mohammed's administration. Special greetings to Dr. Edem Segbefia, incoming NDC National Vice Chairman hopeful, and Honorable Ishaq Dao, the MD of Prestia Mines. Has
he declared?
I've not heard him. Right. I've not heard him. And let me do this. So Makojo Boafo. Sounds familiar. So from America.
It's my elder brother in the States.
Yeah. In fact, apparently he tells me that he started the very day Randy started the show. He tuned in. So he's also 24 years. Yes.
Oh,
interesting. Yeah, he's very loyal to the show. It's a good morning, Moro. Honorable Mensah was accused for not picking up calls.
Everybody will get some.
For not picking up calls or takes 2 months to respond to messages. I can attest that it's untrue. He responds to my messages within minutes. Good show, Moro. Thank you very much, Marco Jobuafo. This matter, we'll have a conversation about it. How to manage party.
It's always a difficult one.
It's a difficult one. Now, continuously, the NDC has failed to clearly explain the fiscal and economic policies that supposedly brought us this point, as they always touted. They should remember that barely a year ago, their party was in opposition. John Mahama lost decisively in 2016 and again in 2020. Yet today, he's present once more. A clear reminder that in a democratic system like ours, no party stays in power forever. The NDC must bear in mind that political power is transient and always will it be. Gideon Ejapon in BBNE. Ali Horaya, NDC aspiring, so NDC Greater Accra Regional Zongo Caucus Coordinator, and is aspiring to be the National Zongo Caucus Coordinator. Says, good morning, my boss. Please tell the Honorable that he will explain Taya. Ghanaians have seen the light in the leadership of the NDC. Musa Abato and Asawasi says, More, I'm surprised that the Japan Mesa still has the audacity to talk about governance after the reckless and criminal mismanagement of the economy under the leadership of the MPP. Today, we're witnessing unprecedented growth and a competent economic management team at work. Have Ghanaians forgotten that they went through and what they went through under MPP rule, the corruption and mismanagement we experienced then were unprecedented in the history of our country. We must not allow them to rewrite the past. My regards to Elder Statesman Dada Ato Ahoy. Papa Bisun, that's what I end. It says, oh, okay. That no. Fact is, Ghanaians now know the truth. Power dear to remain an illusion for the MP forever. Papa Bisu in Spain Tech sends that message. Now, let's just have a quick conversation about this. Now, Afenyo Makin, I know he's a very good friend. Have you heard the calls for him to resign?
For what reason?
And that even if he doesn't resign, he'll be sacked. And his crime is that he's very loyal to Ken. They haven't said he even campaigned for Ken. No. They say he's loyal to Ken and not loyal to Bawumia. And Afenyo Makin has also said that, well, I'm loyal to Ken because he's been good to me right from day one. Okay, so apparently he even went to talk to Bawumia and told Bawumia that, look, he said when Bawumia approached him and said he wants to go, he told Bawumia, look, I'll stay neutral because the fact of the matter is that I have this relationship with Ken. And so I won't be able to come out to campaign for anybody. But some people are calling for his head. I'm sure you've seen it too.
Even before I go there.
And Anabi has had to come out yesterday to say, look, what's the name? Afenyo Makin is safe, leave him alone, he's done nothing wrong.
Even before I go there,
okay.
Your messages that you read,
okay.
The only one that I will respond to is from my brother, Chumbuafu. This game, all these
easy.
All these attributions that really, I'm not saying that Akufo-Addo government was made up of angels. Yeah. Certainly, you have some people who do things that are untoward and necessarily ought to be held to account. Okay, I've had calls to comment on the press conference and the statements that the Attorney General has made relative to Ken Ofori-Attah's return, for example, most recently on Newsfile. I suspect that people misconstrued my clear distinction between criminal prosecution or criminal investigation, which has its own set defined rules in our constitution and other laws, and what public accountability is. Okay, everybody believes in public accountability. In fact, it's enshrined in our constitution. There are institutions of state that handle accounts of the public. So you have the Auditor General that audits the books of all the ministries, departments, and agencies. By their reports, the law enjoins that when people misapply public funds, the rules that you take them through, it's there. We all subscribe to it. Every minister, head of agency, affords, opportunity to go through those accountability institutions.
Right.
Separate from criminal investigations where the Constitution itself, grants people rights of self-incrimination, against self-incrimination. And so if you say that somebody who is being investigated should necessarily be present when in fact the rules even afford him the right to remain silent and not cooperate with the investigator, then really his presence will really be required before a criminal investigation can take place.
That's fine.
That is not to say that that process should not go or be carried through because the person is unavailable. And so that distinction, what people confuse. Certainly, if people have misconducted themselves, by all means, the rules are clear. Take them through the process. Establish beyond reasonable doubt that they've committed the crimes that you charge them with.
All right.
If they are minded to answer, for them the opportunity to do so. If they are not, by all means, exact whatever sanctions that they are, and use the due process to get him to face the consequences of their actions.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
But Afenyo's matter, I mean, I really don't know whether the call that is being made for his resignation or removal is legitimate. We are a party of Democrats. We are not automatic individuals who have to be whipped in a certain direction.
Yeah.
Indeed, and in fact, even in the 2023 primaries, where a lot of assertions were made that people were whipped into line to support a particular candidate, I can tell you without fear of any contradiction that no such event took place. People supported candidates through their own personal choices and volition. Nobody was under any compulsion or influence to support anybody.
Okay.
I was in government. There was no conversation ever between myself and His Excellency the President, the Chief of Staff, or any other official of state to support Dr. Bawumia. He had built relationships over time, and those relationships were what he leveraged on to launch his presidential bid in 2023, and subsequently, in 2026, and he's won on both occasions.
Okay.
And so for one to even remain neutral, if you like, because of a personal relationship that he has with one of the aspirants, can never on any stretch of the imagination be cause for any call for him to either resign or be removed. And I'm not so sure that National Council, which is made up of several stakeholders, would heed this call.
No, this says it's safe, so I think that we can allow stakeholders to lie.
Yeah.
No, what are your concluding remarks on this MPP thing?
On MPP?
Yes.
I just wanted to touch briefly on some of the submissions that he made.
Sure.
When you're in opposition, small thing, then you hit. But there are certain truths that you cannot run away from, and that is the performance of the previous government. No matter how you look at it, it exists. And don't forget that this is a government that came to power on the back of so much disinformation against the previous government, including name-calling and all sorts of fabrications, promising Ghanaians heaven on earth. You are the ones who touted yourselves as the economic messiahs who were coming to take us to the promised land. So it is imperative that we hold you to account and to ensure that you deliver on your promises. You cannot keep excusing yourself and shielding yourselves and telling us not to take credit for good performance of government, but you are claiming that credit. The NDC is in government. You are telling them to be cautious of how much credit they take. Who is the one doing the work? Who is the one restructuring the system, restructuring debt, making it more sustainable, making institutions more sustainable in this country, improving the trust in institutions after Ghanaians had lost so much hope? Today, the Supreme Court can deliver a verdict against a government. That is what shows you the wholesomeness and the commitment of this government to ensure that things are done right. You took us to the IMF, despite all sorts of promises that we would never go there. Yet Isikaso. Ghanaians were expecting that performance to show. In 8 good years, you couldn't turn around the economy. The first few years, we can also boldly claim that you inherited a good system from the NDC. That's why the first few years were stable. Today, you instituted in 2018 5% fiscal cap. At the end of the day, you completely rubbished that same fiscal cap that you instituted and proceeded to borrow us into a debt hole, with debt going as high as the late 70s, over 70% of our GDP. Against good counsel, despite all the calls you were receiving from economists, analysts, CSOs, you completely disregarded all that caution. Today, the man who led the finance ministry, we can't find him. He's at large. Wayera. Accountability should be tied to the perks that you enjoy. When you get power, accountability is tied to it. Nobody owns the office that they occupy. No appointee. You are holding it in trust for the people of the country. You are put there because all Ghanaians cannot be put into that office. So you are sitting there as a privilege. You are answerable to the rest of the country. And you should give an account of your stewardship at the end of it. You shouldn't be dilly-dallying, running around, trying to... Today, the same man prefers to be in ICE custody than to be in Ghana. There are other people who are going through regular court processes. There's nothing untoward that the Attorney General has done. He has not interfered with anything. And there was even a comment about things being very slow. The wheels of justice may grind slow, but they grind just. And they definitely do catch up with you. There are persons who are being taken through court for corrupt activities. They go home, they sleep in their comfortable beds, and they come to court.
His family relative, Gabi says, Gabi, you know Gabi Asare Shilako. There was an interview he granted recently. He said that Ken wants to come, but he didn't say this, but Gabi sort of suggested whether he would be given, he will be handled properly.
Everyone has been handled properly.
I sure don't want to embarrass him.
For what reason?
So he should come.
It's a simple question.
He should feel free and come.
There are issues that we need you to answer to.
Yes.
We cannot reconcile your time in office with certain decisions that you made that the state believes were more for your benefit than for the good of the country. If we got it wrong, come and explain to us. But you are the only one who can explain because you are the occupant of that office. Okay. What's the point in running away?
So
Gift is in Ghana, isn't she?
So go ahead and prosecute her.
She's also...
Is that she won't come? So go ahead and prosecute her. No.
Look, at the end of the day, in 2028, we are going to meet again at the general elections.
All right.
You have won the confidence of your party. Like I said, Dr. Bawumia has won the confidence of his party.
All right.
Even with his party, he has won the confidence of some 51%.
Okay.
Close to half of them do not have confidence in him.
Okay.
Now, how are you going to
You guys are very...
How are you going to convince Ghanaians to have confidence in you?
Okay.
That is the challenge that is coming to
You know, they like reducing the percentage that Otabamia obtained in the election, right?
The facts are secret, right? The data is there.
The data is 51%.
The data says
the data is 51%.
So Farhan is yes, Farhan is with the NBC. It's with the NBC branch in the UK. It says, brother, good morning. Good morning to you and your brilliant panelists. I commend this female panelist for her demonstration of remarkable flow, balance, and understanding of what it means to serve on a panel. No heckling and no shouting contest. Well done. I believe many in the audience feel the same. I admit this is my first time hearing her present, and hearing her present, I believe so. A word of caution to my NDC: when an unexpected candidate emerges, many assume they will be simple to defeat. Wrong. Check what happened between Clinton and Trump. He was thought to be a weak candidate, and now we know in both politics and politics, no certainty, no weak opponent. And then Hassan Saudogo. Yes.
But I did agree that
Hassan.
every candidate who's an opponent is not a walk.
Exactly.
I already accepted
so this
that.
one says, Salam, bro, tell Ejapa he was of no use then when they were asking persons to support Bawumia because we knew he was going to be booted out of Parliament. All right. So I want to thank you very much for your time.
That's all.
Our time is up.
We've been talking for 3 hours. Where Dr. Bawumia is concerned.
I wonder why people think that
you also didn't answer who the running mate will be.
Leaving Parliament is the end of it.
You are fine. You've never complained there. Okay. All right. So Andy, thank you very much, and Andy, thank you very much for your time, and also Nwang Falong. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audumoro. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Have a good day. Bye bye.
La finestra mostrato del mio cuore che hai acceso, chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada.